roll it up, and you can either your left or right hand. I roll everything up in my left hand. Just get the rope nice and neat there in your hand. Lift the net all the way up high. I grab it to the top, go about halfway down, fold it over. Then I grab this with my left hand, and anywhere in the net, I kind of do it to the leads closest to me. I grab some leads, bring them up to your left hand, then pull down the leads back to you. I'll get a few up there in my hand like that. I'll just kick them up in there. Then you just want to kind of a even steady motion. You kind of spin it. It's definitely different than your large live bait nets. These small nets, you just kind of like a frisbee, you just spin it out there.
That's it, exactly like that. Yeah, the larger nets, you got to throw them over your forearm, or some people hold them in their teeth. That's it. Look at all those baits there.
Small
shad
shad
and little menhaden and shrimp all over there. We're in just a little feeder creek off the ICW. Low tide, a lot of the baits will pull out to the mouth of these feeder creeks. A couple of casts, you can get all you need. We're getting it's a real oily bait. They call them menhaden, bunker, shad, pogies. They range from several inches long all the way up to 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. Most of them will be from about 4 inches to 12 inches around here before they move out offshore. But they're around all summer long. It's one of the easiest baits to find because they pop on top of the water. They stay in big schools. They'll show themselves on the surface. There'll be a fine ripple on top of the water, and they'll circle around and around. They're easy to catch. So we usually catch them, these smaller ones in the shallow bays along the ICW, along the mouth of the river, and then we'll catch the larger ones out in the ICW a lot of times. We're using these in the backwaters for flounder, redfish, typically flounder and redfish mainly. You can catch bluefish on them, you can catch Spanish mackerel on them, about that size, a little larger than that. We'll live bait them for Spanish, and then we step up to like the 7-8 inch baits or better for arcane mackerel and stuff. So, but we're going to use these today, hopefully to catch some redfish. All right, we're back out here. We're actually getting ready now. We got our baits we need for the afternoon here. Again, we're in the backwaters. We're doing something a little different today. We're working instead of tournament style fishing, we call it, where we're easing around, tossing spinner baits and tossing topwater baits like we like to do a lot of the times. A lot of times you have we get family groups on, families, young guys like this who are they can no doubt fish. These guys are really good. This is Logan and Ian, and they can fish, but sometimes it gets tough. We've got about a 25-mile-an-hour wind right now, and it's tough for us. And we've been doing this all our lives. And the last thing you want to do is get somebody frustrated. So one of the things you can do is you can find some fish, and if you find fish, and we'll talk about these types of places we're fishing in a minute. When you find these fish, you can anchor or power pole down, either one, whichever you have, upwind of them or up current of them, and then you can work popping corks to them. If you happen to be up current of them, you can put out popping corks, and you can let them drift back to the fish. So that's what we're going to do today. This rig right here, you see that there? Yeah. This rig today, this was actually tied for black drum fishing. That's why I have that really small #1 circle hook on there. The redfish we've been catching in these areas they're anywhere from about 4 pounds to 15 pounds, somewhere in there. That hook will probably get straightened out on a good redfish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip this off. Grab my scissors here. Get a little knife there. Thank you, bud. So man's prepared. Let's just take this leader off. And rather than change out the hook itself, we're going to change out the whole leader. Fix it up here out of the way so no one gets hooked. Here's your knife. Thank you, appreciate that. Might need it again in a minute. And we're just taking some, it doesn't matter the brand really, so much as the style of hook. We're still using basically a circle hook. It's a kale hook. And this stuff is pre-rigged, which is nice because you don't have to break out your fluorocarbon and all that. It's already pre-rigged. So these are 1/0 laser sharp kale hooks, 1/0. Let me get rid of this too so it doesn't blow away into the water. Alright, can you hold that for a minute? Sure. Thank you, bud. And these are actually on about 2-foot leaders. So already got the kale hook on it. And here on my mouth. we're going to attach that to the popping cork. And Ian, if you would pop your knife back open here, and if you'll kindly let me keep my fingers and cut that line for me, thank you. All right. And we're just going to tie that on there. We like to call this a grouper knot. It's a quick knot. 2 twists, and then through the loops and toward the hook. Pull it tight. Anyway, that's pretty much it. We don't have to use, we're fishing shallow water, so we don't really need weight. We can add some weight to it though. Our current is real slow right now. It's really low tide, so we're not going to add any weight. There's a lot of grass in the area we're fishing right here, so we don't want to hang up on the grass. And that's pretty much it. We have a popping cork. We use the weighted popping corks. They have these beads on them. It helps us for weight, for casting purposes, and it also makes a sound. We can let this thing drift. If there's fish within a few yards of it, we can pop our rod once or twice. It'll sound like that. That draws in those fish's strikes. It simulates the sound of fish feeding. If you ever heard a redfish pop the top of the water when he attacks a bait, and a lot of times that'll draw them to him. So we're going to take this rig, guys, right now. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go catch a fish while you guys sit back here, okay? And watch. No, I'm joking. We're going to let you guys catch some fish today, okay?
We load this bucket full of these little pogies, and I'm cutting them right in half because they're pretty good sized ones. Putting them in my chum thrower. It's just a wiffle ball back, cut the top of it off. When you're fishing with people, as you know, just the younger crowd, doesn't matter the experience really. This is just the best way to catch reds, the easiest way to catch reds, or any fish for that matter. I just load that up with them baits. This allows me to throw it out there.
Mike just basically bought a child's baseball bat, cut the top of it off.
You can see them breaking back there. They're following this chum line right up the chum line.
Here you go, guys. Someone grab it. I think you hit it. Mike, raise yours up.
Go ahead.
Go to the bow. Go underneath Mike's rod right there and go to the bow. When your cork goes down, now that's probably your mullet minnow moving there. We stuck a live one on there. We didn't have to stick a live bait, but
there he is right there.
One just hit the other rod. Logan, hop up there, grab that rod, bud. Look, you got one on too. Pull your rod tips up,
there
guys.
There we go. Doubled up already.
Go up next to Ian there so we can see you guys. Good job.
I say this is the fastest, easiest way to catch reds.
Hey, Ian. There you go. Dig the butt of the rod into your waist there. There you go.
You can just start chumming, and you don't have to use live bait in your chum string. Just use the chum that you're using. That's what they like. You throw it out there with a float cork and open your bell and let it go right with the tide, right along with the chum. It looks like a piece of chum, natural.
And this is what Mike was talking about.
They'll pick it right up.
The same stuff we're using for chum, and he's dead.
Just hook him through the bottom lip, up through the top, just like you would if he was alive.
That'll keep him from spinning.
And that'll keep him on there pretty strong.
And as a matter of fact, let's take a cast with this one. We'll see if we can get 3 on here. I don't know, it might not bite mine though. I'm an adult, right? I think they know who I am. I just tossed that orange cork out. These guys have got 2 on right now. Good, we're on the fish.
Wow.
All right, we just got the hooks out of our 2 redfish here, but I want to talk real quick about picking them up. If you haven't ever picked them up before, you actually have to be careful. If you lift up his gill plate, that's his gill plate right here. Below are his gills, actual gills and the gill rakers there. You want to be careful not to stick your fingers inside those gill rakers. A lot of people just reach in all excited. They're really sharp right there if you look in there. And they're kind of like those mechanisms designed to pop tires if you drive over them backwards. Those are designed where you can slide your finger in, but if you pull back, your finger gets stuck. And of course, if the fish shakes, it's going to tear your finger and start bleeding. So if you lift his gill plate up and push his gills down, right there, you can slide your finger in there. It won't hurt your finger, it won't hurt the fish. You're actually not hurting his gills at all. And you can hold them up. Now, we don't usually just hold them by there. We'll support their bellies a lot of times too. So, Logan, if you stick one finger in right here, out his mouth, there you go. And Ian, let me see your index finger. Put it right there in place of mine. Close your finger once you get it way up in there, and then grab his belly. And let's show these folks here today what a couple of big redfish look like. I'm gonna step up next to Logan there. Looks like we've got about a 26.5 with a fat belly on them. And then there's probably a 27 to 27.5 incher there.
There you go. Good job. Drop your rod a little bit slower and reel. Good.
Mike's got a small 27-incher on here.
It's important when that cork goes under, set the hook quick as possible. The way you get him in the lip somewhere every time. That's a fat fish right there.
All right, lift up right there. You got him. You got him. Look at that. Woo, good job. Sweet.
Look at that
and
fish.
These fish are eating them.
20.
That fish is 26 and a half, and I bet he weighs 7 3/4 to 8 pounds. That's a fat fish. He's got broad shoulders on him.
Look at that. That's a fat fish. Now, you notice on this one, that hook is just gone. So what you want to do is take your scissors, cut down there as close as possible, and that hook will be gone within 2 weeks. I caught one on a charter yesterday, matter of fact. I showed you, Jeff. I pulled the lead weight, it was an artificial bait, right out of him. It went right on through his system. I mean, these fish are fine. They'll live fine with that hook. That hook will rust right out and be gone.
Most of them don't get hooked like that. Most of the time with the float cork, as soon as they grab that, bait and they pull down, the resistance of the cork a lot of times will set the hook. It'll help set the hook, and you usually don't get hooked like that. But occasionally it happens.
It was awesome. Yeah. Put up a big fight.
You guys ready to start fishing every day for a living now?
Yep.
Yeah? All right.
Notice I didn't grab that line. I grabbed the cork system where we have like 40 pound test leader. Grab that line, you have a chance of breaking him.
Yeah, plus we got braided line and all these. So.
This is a nice one here. Look at these spots, guys.
Yeah, look at this. Mike's got, look at how thick his tail is, Mike. Look at the underside of him.
Yeah. Has 2 spots on this side. And
Look how thick his tail is in here. See that? Look at that underside view. Look at that. Solid meat.
yeah,
He's croaking though.
That's a fat one.
you want to release him?
This one's cute.
Take a shot at it. Come on down here. And
Hold him by the head and by the tail. When you get him in the water, just release his head. Grab his tail. Down low on the tail.
there you go.
And he's finally getting some line on him.
There you go, Logs.
Ian, step to your right.
Holy God.
Come back here, Ian. There you go. Let me grab the net, man. See, it's this big monster. I don't know.
Yeah, it is a monster.
Reel down one more time. All the way down. Now pull up. There you go.
Good job. Keep pumping him, Ian. You got him, bud. And what I showed you earlier. One more time. Pull straight up. Almost. We got him. We got him. He's in the bag.
There you go.
Yeah, good job.
All right. Cast it out there. Try to hit it in the slick right here.
With that bird.
Oh, he don't like it. He don't like it.
Right, there you go. Oh my goodness, look at the size of this one, Mike.
30 incher. Good night.
He is big. He's big in length and
Biggest fish of the
big in
day.
girth. That's a solid 10
Biggest fish of the day.
fish at least.
Is that bigger than 26 and a half?
Fish weigh 12 pound
man,
easy.
Yeah, that's solid. Look at the shoulders on that fish there.
I don't know, he's just so fat.
He's actually 29 1/4 inches. Can you believe
Look
that?
how fat that fish
He's
is.
so big around, he looks like a solid 31, 32 inch fish. I bet he weighs 11, 12 pounds though. He's massive.
It's healthy. We had just a massive amount of these peanut pogies coming through here. Just everywhere in the backwaters. In this particular place, there was 7 or 8 big blood red schools of shad here. And you can see the difference. I mean, 2 weeks ago, these fish were, that fish right there was skinny. He might have weighed 8.5 pounds. 2 weeks of shad, feeding on shad every day, and you see what he looks like.